Uh, and then another example of the opportunity is rise of the new technology. So it's tightly linked to the past analysis. The fourth element of the past analysis, it's about technology. Nowadays, there's a big development in technology in the area of specifically the artificial intelligence areas and also the ICT areas, information, communication, and the technology and telecommunication areas. And such a great improvement in technologies are the main factors of the current the industrial revolution. We call it the fourth industrial revolutions. So a lot of digital machines are tightly connected. So such a great improvement or the development of new technologies may give a lot of opportunities to some companies who may leverage such great technologies in developing their products or services to serve the customer needs better. Okay, so all the examples of the possibilities I have mentioned are related to in more or less the past analysis. So some factors are related to the political factors, and others are related to the economic, social, technological, and legal side of the external factors. So we have to look at very carefully whether those are what are the implications of those external environment, whether it's good news to the company or it's a bad news to the company. Okay, let's have a look at some of the examples of the threats as well. Entrance of foreign competitors to our domestic market based on low cost. So in case there are giant foreign competitors, in case they decided to enter our market, and they have some competitive advantages either in the brand name or in the cost advantages, low cost. And then if those companies are entering to our market, that could be a threat to our businesses. Okay, so it's related to the competitors trend, which we have discussed in the previous classes in the competitor analysis. Okay, so all the factors affecting to our businesses can be categorized as the opportunities or threats, whether it's from the past analysis or whether it's from the industry analysis, or whether it's from the competitor analysis, or whether it's related to the customers analysis. Okay. Second example of the threats is increasing sales of alternative goods. Okay, it's also related to the uh, trends and dynamics of indirect competitor of our company. So indirect competitor is defined as serving our target customers with the same values but with different products. That means with an alternative goods. So if our indirect competitors may increase the sales of their goods, that's not a good news to our company. So that could be a threat to the business of ours. And then threat example number 3 is the decrease in market growth. Okay, so it's related to the analysis of, is related to the industry analysis. According to our industry analysis, first the thing we have to look at is the size of the market and then growth rate of the market. So in some in some cases where our market is not growing anymore and then actually decreasing in market growth, that's not a good sign to the existing players in the market, including our competitors and also our company as well. Okay, the other example of the threats number 4 is changing in the exchange rate and trade policies of major countries in the negative direction. So it's related to the economic condition under the past analysis, and also it's related to the politics element under the past analysis. So if the changes in the exchange rate is has changed in the negative direction to our company, and that's not a good news. If we are a company to export a lot of products of us, and then the exchange rate has changed, that our currency's value is quite low, and then the value of the other countries are become very expensive, and then it's a very favorable news for us, and then because by selling the product, and then we can earn more monies. I don't want to talk a lot about what are the impact of the exchange rate changes to the company businesses, but in general, any changes in the exchange rate to the positive direction or the negative direction may affect as the opportunities or threats to our businesses. And threat number 5 is strengthening regulations that increases costs. So that's related to the number 5 factors under the past analysis, the legal and regulational factors affecting the business of the company. And number 6, economic downturn, is related to the economic situation under the past analysis. Okay, so if there is an economic downturn in general, that will be a threat to the company as well as all the players doing the business in those economies. And the rise of the bargaining power of customers and suppliers. Okay, that's related to the industry analysis, where we covered under the Michael Porter's 5 forces. Okay, one of the 5 forces Michael Porter mentioned in determining the attractiveness of the market is the bargaining powers of the company in between the customers and the suppliers. So in case the bargaining power of the customers or the bargaining power of the suppliers are stronger than the companies, and that's not a good news to a company. So that could be categorized as a threat to the company. And threat number 8, changes in customer preferences and trade tastes. So what is this related to? In our previous analysis we have done, okay, it's related to the customer analysis. So according to our customer analysis, if there is any changes in the customer preferences and tastes, that will affect to the businesses of the company. But there are two different cases where the changes in the customer preferences and tastes are affecting to the business of the company. In case customer preferences and tastes are changing to a direction that our company may accommodate, may serve very well, and that could be categorized as the opportunities instead of the threats. So the customer of the target customer of the competitors, the preferences may change dramatically, and then if our company can easily satisfy the needs and wants of the companies once they were the customer of the competitors, and then that's a good news to us. So there could be an opportunities. And in case the target customer of our companies may change their tastes and preferences, and they do not so they are going away from our company, and if they go to our competitors, then that could be a threat to our company's businesses. So in short, a lot of things we can categorize as opportunities and threats are related to actually the factors we have covered in the past analysis, industry analysis, competitor analysis, and also the customer analysis. And a lot of those factors we covered in those analyses may be categorized in either opportunities or threats. If any news, any factors might be a good news to company and to our company, and then it can be categorized as the opportunities. And if those external factors may be categorized as the bad news to our company, it can be the threats. Okay. So, and also some external factors that might be an opportunity to us could be a threat to our competitors. So that depends on the perspectives of which it depends on whose perspectives we are looking at, whether we review those external factors from our perspectives or the competitors' perspectives. So the result could be different, whether it can be categorized as the opportunities or the threats. So now let's have a look at some of the internal factors which could be categorized as the strengths or the weaknesses. The first one example is the key competencies in major areas. Yes, that's that's the point I emphasized in my core competency analysis. If we can identify some of the competencies in a lot of areas as our core competencies, definitely that's one of our strengths. Right? And strength number two, example of the strength number two is sufficient financial resources. Okay, that could be one of the core competencies of our company. And in addressing or in identifying the core competencies, when I do a class about core competencies, so I presented 4 different types of the resources the company might have. What was the first? Physical resources, and the second one was the financial resources, and then that's the resources what I have mentioned in the previous classes. If our company has the sufficient financial resources, that means a strong cash flows, from our business or a lot of monies right now, and so we can invest. We have the capabilities to invest in a lot of different areas, and that could be a strength of our businesses. And what are the other resources the company might have? The third resources the company might have is human resources, right? Strong leaderships, or the well-trained employees, or very flexible the office business cultures and something like that. And the rest the final type of the business resources is that intangibles, such as the patents, things like that. Okay, let's have a look at the strength example number 3. Customer awareness about our products. So it's related to the intangible assets of our company. We may call it the brand values. The customer awares about our company, and customers value our company, recognizes our company as the premium product, and in case the customer is loyal to our companies, and then we can call them as the brand value of our company is strong. So if our company has a strong brand values, and then that could be categorized as the strengths of our company. So the next example of the strengths is well-recognized market dominance. Okay, so it's related also to the brand value of the company. If the market, if the companies are, if the customers of our company recognizes our product as the market leader, and that's a good news. That could be one of the strengths of our businesses. And another example of the strengths is the economies of the scale. So that's related to the production capabilities and also the cost advantages. In essence, the fundamental two types of the strategy the company may pursue is the differentiation or cost advantages. So if the company can provide something differently from their competitors, and that could be one of the strategies the company may pursue. And then the other way of the strategy is even though the company provides identical products in identical way, and there's no differences between the company and the competitors, but if the company can provide those identical products or the services in a cost advantageous approaches, cost advantageous way, and then that gives us the benefit to the company. So that's the other strategy the company may pursue. So in achieving the cost advantages, economies of the scale might be one of the traditional way of achieving the cost advantages. So economies of the scale means if we can produce lots of the products at the same time, that will reduce dramatically the fixed cost of our company. We cannot reduce the variable cost of the company, because by definition variable cost means the same unit cost occurs even though so once we produce lots of the products, but the unit price of the product, unit cost of the producing that product is the constant. So if we just produce one item, and then the variable cost is $1, and then if you just produce 2 units, and then variable cost of the producing another unit is also $1. So in total we we have to pay the cost of the producing 2 items are $2, and so it depends on the number of the productions. Okay, but in terms of the fixed cost, whether we will produce 1 or 2 number of the units, the fixed cost is the same. So if we produce 1 unit, the fixed cost to our company may be $100. But if we produce 2 units, the second unit, still the fixed cost of the producing the total 2 units are $100. So in that case, once we produce lots of the products at the same time, we can the fixed cost of the total fixed amount might be the same. So that means that we can reduce the fixed cost per producing fixed cost per unit produced might be reduced dramatically. So by achieving the economies of the scale, we may reduce our cost in production, especially the fixed cost of the production, and then that will give us some the cost advantages, and we may pursue the strategies in pursuing the cost leaderships. Okay, the next example of one of the strengths of the company is market protection layers. So that might be related to the intangibles. If we have the patents or some intangible assets that can protect our market by law, or if there is any protection layers, market protection layers, and then that could be also the strengths to our companies. Okay, differentiated technology. So if our company has differentiated technology, and then that could be one of our core competencies, which is the intangible assets of our company. And if we have such great technology, that could be the strengths of our businesses. Okay.